Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Today Show. I'm Dr. Laurie Davis, your host. We have some guests with us first thing this morning, first half hour at least, and welcome to you. We're getting some background noise here somewhere.
Oh, me, maybe. Sorry.
Yeah, mute. Want to mute? Yeah, so our esteemed leader and founder, Jay Stoyan, is with us this morning, first thing, and Dr. Kaye Sheffield from Calamasa, California. And this morning, we're going to do some spiritual wellness. We haven't touched on that yet. And so Kaye is going to have some things that she wants to present to us. And then she's going to leave on the half hour. And in the last half hour, I'm going to share the 15 T's of recovery, regardless of what you're recovering from. All right. So good morning, Jay. You want to say hi to everybody?
Good morning, everybody. Thought I was causing trouble right away, so I muted myself. Yeah, everything's good. Good. I'm Wednesday morning, beautiful here in Toronto and Burlington. It's nice and sunny. Lots of stuff going on. But tell me about today's show. Tell me what you guys have planned.
Well, Kaye is going to talk about spiritual wellness today for the first half hour. And then the last half hour, I'm going to share 15 T's of recovery. All the words start with T, and every one of them leads to recovery.
So why don't we do this? Why don't we let Kaye take the mic unless you want to do something, and then I'll jump in later with some updates, and then I'm going to probably pop off too. But yeah, let's hand the mic over to Kaye and see what she has to tell us.
All right. Thanks, Jay.
Thanks.
All right. Well, good morning, Kaye. We're not going to waste any time. We're going to put the mic right over to you because we decided that we should do something around spiritual wellness, and you're the woman for the job. So over to you, Kaye.
I'm not so sure, but I will do my best.
All right.
I will. And hopefully this will touch some other lives. And it's always good for me to hear what's going on. So this is good. I had thought about doing peace and prayer on peace and spiritual wellness and that kind of thing. And there's just so many things that we can do to help us. And I just started reflecting on this as I was thinking about it. And I thought, you know what? God's verse about it is possible as far as it depends on you to live in peace with everyone. And that's from Romans 12, I'm sorry. And I thought, yeah, this is good. We can just live in peace with everyone. And but sometimes we need inner peace. There is so much going on in the world. Stock market's going up and down. There's wars starting different places, and things are just happening to people, and financial worries and food worries. And so I'm thinking about, okay, what can we find to help us with inner peace? And I started plugging into my own thoughts and what I do, and maybe I can share some of those and let people know what I'm doing. We just finished a book. It was a compilation book on peace, and so I have to share that with you really quickly. I don't even have the book yet. It's going to be 3 more days before it's here, but this is a little picture of it right here. It's a Voices of Peace, and it's going to be, well, it's at Barnes & Noble. I'm getting mine from Amazon, but they're a little slow on getting it to me, so it'll be a while before it's here. 3 more days, I guess. So we all wrote on peace and what we thought peace was, and quite often I feel like it's a quiet place to be, or some time just outside, hearing birds, hearing kids, hearing a stream, just listening. And I'll talk about that in a few more minutes too, about listening more. There's a time, I think, where if we just take a walk and just look at what's around us and how it's so beautiful, and be thankful for all that we have and all that is around us that we are given, and how the world, how the universe, how God has created all of this to give us this beautiful country and world that we live in. I think of peaceful music, and not everybody has the same kind of peaceful music. And I have a kind of music I like to listen to. I like to listen to Christian music. I like to listen to quiet music, sometimes some classical music, um, and sometimes some rock and roll, and that kind of thing too. So whatever touches you and makes you feel calm and secure. It's a secure feeling as well as a calm feeling. I love to dance, and I can be stressed up to the hilt and go out and start moving to music and getting that rhythm in, whether it's a waltz or a foxtrot or a cha-cha, and it just gets all the energy and the pent up stress out of you, and you just start feeling like, oh my goodness, I can move to this, and I can feel the vibrations of the music and feel peace. I also like to take deep breaths, and this is really why, yes, deep breath. Good Lord. And I have a special way I like to do my deep breaths. Do you think we could do just a couple of them? Okay.
Definitely. Definitely.
And I've heard lots of people do different ways of breathing. And the way I like to breathe is a little bit more core raised. So you're using your core to do the breathing in. So what I like to do is like to take a deep breath in and hold it, and then take just a little bit more. Hold it, 2, 3, 4, and then let it out slowly. Out through your mouth if you can. And then suck your belly in. That belly button should try and see if you can touch the back of your spine. So I pull my belly in so it gets the last bits of air out. And some of the toxins that are left in our lungs get to be sprued out and get rid of. And then just kind of rest for a minute, then get back to that breath in again. Let's do one or two more. So one breath in, one, hold it, a little bit more in, out slowly, and then suck your belly in and push the rest of it out. Let's do one more time. I was out of here. Okay, breath in slowly. Hold it. Breathe a little bit more air in. Out slowly through your mouth. Suck it in and blow it out. And you can feel the stress kind of leaving. You're thinking about what you're doing. You're not thinking about whatever is the stressful thing that's going on in your life for today. And I think that helps me a lot. If we can do, they're saying 9 breaths a day is really good to do. So I like to try and remember to do it sometimes early in the morning, sometimes late at night as I'm just getting ready to relax, fall asleep, take a deep breath in, let it out, and it just helps to relax me. And I put my head on the pillow and I'm out. So, and the other thing, I'm going to keep going, Laurie.
Yes, you've got lots of time. Go ahead.
Oh, good. Okay. The thing I also like to do every day is, and if I can, first thing in the morning. Sometimes it's so warm here in Southern California right now that I've already closed up all the windows, let all the cool air in and the hot air out. And so I don't always get to it first thing in the morning. And I've got peach trees and nectarine trees I need to go out and take care of and water a little bit. So sometimes I don't get to my quiet time until a little bit later. But I love to have my quiet time. And I have a favorite spot I sit in the morning, and it doesn't have to be very long. It can be like 15, 20 minutes. But I read a couple of devotionals. I read in my Jesus Calling, and there's a daily reference in there for the day, and it's a couple of scripture verses from the Bible. So I like to do that. I also like to read Bob Goff, and I've got my little note on the front here. I'll take it off. But it's Live in Grace, Walk in Love by Bob Goff. And it's a 365-day journey as well. And he's got some really good stories. and he's got some Canadian roots as well. The little post that I took off is, I pray for my family, and I decided I would pray for the closest people to me, most relevantly every day. So I got like each day of the week, I've got somebody. Brian is Sunday, and then I tried to match up, like my son Mark starts with M. So I thought Monday, that's a good day for him. I'll do that on Monday. And then I've got another grandson, Trevor. So I put him for Tuesday. And then Sadie is for Saturday because she's an S. And then the rest of them are all fit in there as for me to pray for. But I love to be able to do that, and then to pray for the country when we can. I set my alarm on my phone to pray for our country, because we need prayer. Canada too.
Yes.
So we're taking care of the prayer part and just being available to do that. After I've done that part of it, I like to just sit quiet. No music on, no radio, no TV, just sit. And I've heard from several people, Terry Seville Foy was one person that really brought this out to me. She said, journal, just sit quietly, sit and just listen. See what pops into your head. See if the Lord is speaking to you, and then write it down. And I have a little book I just wrote in I just got a little journal, and that's my journal. And I write down, maybe not every day, but I feel like what I feel coming in, or that I'm hearing, or that I'm thinking, I just write it down. And sometimes I look back at that and I'm just surprised. Oh my gosh, did I say that? I need to be doing that. I need to be thinking about this, or need to be planning or goal setting in that area. So those are some things I do as far as the quiet time is concerned. Reading the Bible, trying to follow through. I'm trying to go through chronologically right now and read, but I do that as well. So that's my spiritual part of what I do. I think that quiet time is probably one area I really, really need to work on myself, that has not been in my life before, but I want to do more of that. And then being thankful at night. Before I go to sleep at night, I write things I'm thankful for that day. So
That's really powerful. Let's talk a little bit about when you said, in that quiet time, maybe it's Jesus speaking to us, which for me also transcends into a word that a lot of people use, which is intuition. And when we are feeling strongly, without any evidence, we don't even have to have the evidence, but intuitively we know something is right for us. And I love to refer to our good friend, Dr. Verlaine Crawford, who shared her story of when she didn't listen to that inner voice and ended up, she was working in a large building for a publishing company, I believe it was, and she came down into the parking lot and she stepped off the elevator and her inner voice said, run. And she thought, run? Why would I run? There's a security guard right over there. I'm safe, I'm good. And she talked herself out of what her inner voice was saying to her. And that security guard ended up stabbing her. So God, intuition, Jesus, run. And she didn't listen. So how many times have we had that similar experience where we were being guided, but we didn't listen? I know I've been there. What about you, Kaye?
yes, I can't think of anything right off the bat, but yeah, I think there's been so many times that we probably have been saved from an accident, and we don't even have a clue that we had that, because we thought, okay, change lanes. I think I need to change lanes. And I think of that quite often, being on the busy freeways here in California. There's times where I think, okay, do I need to do this? Maybe I do. And then something happened, or there was an accident on that other side that I missed or avoided or got around it easier. So yeah, I think there's
Oh, yeah,
a lot.
and yeah, when you think about too, I knew intuitively that my second marriage was just not ever gonna work out, but I got married anyway. I didn't listen.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm. So when it comes to relationships, I think that happens a lot,
Hmm.
don't you think?
Yeah, I do too. And, I've got a person right now that I just feel like, no, you need to stay away. That's not a build up kind of a person
Yeah.
that you can either help them or they can help you. You just feel like, but then God says to love everybody. So, yes, we need to
Yeah.
love them
No,
anyway, but
we
we don't
we
need to hang
can
out.
yeah, we can love them, but they don't have to be a project,
No, no,
right?
no, we don't need to do
Exactly.
that.
Exactly. Well,
Yeah.
let's just take a little 30-second break, Kay, get our breath, and come back to continue our discussion. My
Okay.
guest today, Dr. Kaye Sheffield. Well, she's actually more of a co-host. She's not really a guest anymore, and she supports Wellness Wednesdays frequently. So, thank you for being here today, Kay.
You're welcome.
The day is set. Join us October 12th, 2024 at Carrigan Arms for our next fundraiser in honor of veterans, the Invictus Games in British Columbia, Canada, and TDC Employment Program enrollment. For more information, email us at info@thedisabilitychannel.ca.
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching the Today Show. I'm your host, Dr. Laurie Davis, and my co-host today, Dr. Kaye Sheffield, who frequents our show on Wednesdays when we discuss various aspects of wellness. Also, too, right now we're streaming live on my Facebook page, Laurie Davis, our YouTube channels, the Disability Channel Facebook page. I believe we're on approximately 15 platforms right now, and our shows go down. Some of our shows go down to Your Home TV, and I'll put that up, the link that you can copy down if you wish to access our shows on Your Home TV. They've got about 14 episodes published on the television channel there. So we're really honored to have Your Home TV as one of our partners. And so it brings us bigger exposure, more exposure. And I believe there's somewhere around 25,000 people watching those episodes per episode, mind you. So our numbers are growing. And the 30 seconds that just went up is an opportunity for you to put an ad, a commercial, if you would like to promote what you're doing, a product, a book, you've got an upcoming event, please feel free to contact me so we can work that out and have that happen for you and your business. We've got a really heck of a deal on right now for the first 30 people who place an ad. So that's my shtick. Over to you, Kay. So, what else do we need to say? Intuition. Yes, we were talking about those times when you know better and you don't listen to your most smartest part of you, which is your intuition, because we were all given that. Don't you think that's a spiritual gift? Okay.
Oh, I do. I do.
Mhm.
And I'm not, quite often I used to think, oh my goodness, the Lord never talks to me. I never hear from God. God never says anything. And how come he talks to all these other people? And finally I started realizing what Terry Zaville Foy was saying with the journaling aspect. You have to be quiet. You can't hear him unless you're quiet or you're reading his word. If you're reading his word, then you can find all kinds of things that he says to you or that he brings out in you or that he tells you that he wants you to know. So I, it's been a learning journey for me along
Mhm.
the way.
Well, Kathy Bell is here this morning, and she always has a very good question. So let's see if we can help her with her question. How can you tell the difference between fear and intuition? Hmm. Well, I think people are afraid of the fear comes in when you don't believe that you have that or you're not trusting it. So if you have this feeling about something that we've talked about, like another person or another relationship or changing lanes or whatever, um, when we don't trust our intuition, I think that creates fear. What are your thoughts, Kaye, on that?
Fear, I think, it's an unsafe feeling. You feel afraid. A fear is afraidness, and quite often it blocks any other thoughts. It could block intuition. Intuition, I perceive as just being a thought, a way without the unsafe necessarily. I mean, you can feel unsafe, or fearful, but just a thought. I have a thought about I want to go and do this, or I should not do that, and but it's not necessarily a fear. I think they're two very different things. Is my thought.
Yeah, absolutely. But we know from our experience, Kaye, that most people operate from a place of fear
Yes.
and worry and anxiety and concerned about what other people think. And so we're always adjusting ourselves to meet those needs rather than just going with what we know is right for us. Because what's right for Kaye is different than what's right for Kathy. It's different than what's right for Laurie. So, but I have really, really honed that down recently. And I'm trusting my intuition, because my intuition is always about my highest good, what is best for me. And isn't that what God wants for us? The best for us?
Yeah,
We mess it up.
we do.
We overthink. We analyze. Paralysis by analysis, right? And so we get in the way of that intuition working in our best interest. We
Well,
don't always see the end result of that, but
yeah,
it's like that's how we've got ourselves programmed. We want all the ducks lined up before we follow through.
yeah. God wants us just to trust Him
Oh.
and not be worried about all these little ducks that aren't lining up. I do have I pulled this up last night. It's a little Peanuts cartoon that came
Oh,
up,
yes.
and it says, remember the hard parts of your life are just chapters in your story, not the whole book. There are still beautiful things to come.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I think if we can put the fears aside and just think about, okay, what's the next chapter? Why am I not feeling good about this right now? But it's
Mhm.
just a chapter, a stage, a section of your life. What's the next one to come?
Mhm.
Let's look forward to that.
Yeah, and everything's temporary.
Mhm.
Nothing lasts forever. So if you're in a situation right now that's not very comfortable, or you're feeling unsafe, or just remember, you just make a different decision, or you listen to that inner voice, and
Yes.
it will guide you and direct you. Some people call it the universe, some people call it God, some people call it intuition. Doesn't matter what name you put on it, but it's there within all of us.
Yes.
And I remember laying in bed going, God, there must be a good man out there that I deserve. And I'm telling you, when
Yes.
3 weeks later, Ron Davis appeared on my door. Yeah. I said, there's got to be. Well, you see, he was asking me to wait
Mhm.
until that Mr. Davis was able to come to my door. See,
Mhm.
free to come to my door. I was just waiting. He just asked me to wait. He didn't say no. He just said, wait,
Mhm.
wait.
A lot of times, that's exactly what we're doing. We're waiting. And
Mhm.
God doesn't always bring everything until the 11th hour.
Oh, isn't that the truth?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you don't get it till you absolutely need that.
Yeah. That happened with a class I was taking at Loma Linda, and I had to finish this paper, and it was about women in the Bible. And I ordered a computer. My sister-in-law, who lived up in Big Bear, hour and a half away, was going to help me put it together. Well, the place closed down. I went down there to say, I ordered a computer, and they said, well, there's a few sitting around here. You might look and see if your name's on one. Mine was there. Brought it home, and by over the phone, she tells me how to put it together. You take this part and you put this together. First computer, little tiny little screen like this of an Apple computer. And we had it put together. And then I said, well, but I don't know how to work it. And she said, this is how you work it. And put it together for me. I typed up that paper and turned it in. And I think it was due like the next day by 2:00 in the afternoon or something. And so the 11th hour sometimes is when these things happen, and happen. The ability comes to you to be able to do this. But, trusting in the Lord has been my, okay, I got to do this. I got to just trust him. He's going to make it all happen. And for you too, with Ron coming into your life. Oh my goodness.
32 years ago. And I was in a position where I wasn't interested. I wasn't looking for a partner. I had made a decision to live the rest of my life by myself and be okay with that. And then bam. And three dates later, he moved in with me. And we've been together ever since. That's how fast it can happen, girlfriends.
Wow. Hold on.
Yeah, hold on.
That's once that door opens, it's just open.
I know. And there's a big story around that, but that's for another time. Kaye, thank you so much. I know you're on a bit of a time frame today, but thank you for coming in for the first half hour. And is there anything in closing that you would like to say before we have to say goodbye to you?
Sure. If you don't mind, I'd like to read a verse from the Bible.
You betcha.
This was in the Peace book that I just showed you the picture of that's coming out. And it says, do not be anxious about anything, but everything by prayer and supplication, by requesting, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. That's Philippians 4:6-7. And the spiritual part of me just says I want to share that part with everybody.
Absolutely. Well, that's why you're here today. And thank you so very much for all of that. And you have a blessed day.
Thank you. You too.
We have our GSFE meeting this morning, the Canadian Network, and we're excited about that. We have a lovely speaker coming in, Donna Russo, from Palm Desert, California, actually.
Just about an hour down the road.
Yeah, and she was a professional dancer, and now she survives life from a wheelchair, and she's still all about movement. So she's going to teach us how to move even if you're in a chair. So it'll be really fun. Good. Okay, Kaye. Bye for now.
Bye.
We're just going to take a little break, and I'll be right back after this break with T's. The T's, I created a list of T words that we use to help others recover from whatever it is you're recovering from.
Introducing Veteran House Alliance International Monthly 50/50 Raffle. Purchase your ticket today, link on display, and have a chance to win cash and help a great platform supporting veterans. The Disability Channel would like to thank our existing sponsors. We really appreciate the support and kindness from the BIAs across the GTA, Ontario, Canada, and our friends in the USA. We love making new friends. Thank you for supporting our existing employment programs.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Dr. Laurie Davis, and we're here this morning. Wellness Wednesday. Almost couldn't get those words out. And you're watching the Today Show here on the Disability Channel. And I understand we might have some students watching today. That is so fun. Jay informed me that we have our class, our students who are taking their media training. So I would love to have you share in the comment section if you can, if you have a question or you're, enjoying the show, whatever it is you want to say. Good morning, Virginia. Good morning, Kathy. And so welcome to the show, you guys. And I understand you're going to be learning how to work behind the camera, in front of the camera, And I look forward to being able to support you in some of that. So I've been broadcasting for a very long time, and I've always been in front of the camera. So thank you for being here, and a special congratulations to you for stepping into your training. That's awesome. So I thought I would share. I have about, I don't know, 15 or 16 T words, because we're in the recovery business, I always say. Actually, my handle is the recovery mechanic. And I was given that by a client who said, Laurie, you really help people to recover from whatever it is. And we're all busy recovering from something. And it could be that we're even recovering from our childhood, or we're recovering from a health issue, recovering from a disability, recovering from a failed marriage. There's so many ways and reasons why we are constantly in recovery. And so no one is alone in that. Everybody gets to participate in recovery, whether you like it or not. It's like everybody's got, feelings and all of that. So it's universal. It's all around the world. And just imagine right now we have people recovering who've lost their homes in fires by both sides of the border. We have people who are recovering from their town being blown up, war-torn regions and zones. So it's a process. And you might be recovering from something that happened to you when you were 10 and you still haven't really figured out how to recover. So these are the ingredients that are involved in what we do, and that I feel are necessary for recovery. So the first thing is we need to come out of denial about the fact that maybe we need to recover from something and get healthier, to have healthier attitudes, healthier beliefs, to not be looking on my background just fell down. Did you see that? I'm still here. That's my new background. I just put it up temporarily to see how it looked, and I forgot it was there. So I didn't secure it. No problem. So back to our topic. See, that was a test. See, testing is one of them. So I'll just cross that off. Testing. How quickly can you recover? How quickly did it take me to recover from my sign falling off the wall? Completely. There it goes. 2 seconds. You see, some people that would happen to them, and they would interrupt everything and be distracted and not able to recover. But we need to learn how to recover quickly, because time is of the essence. Thank you, Kathy. It is a lovely background. I just have to get it mounted properly. All right. So 1 to 15 T's. So the first one is tests. We'll be given tests. And those tests are those things that we need to recover from. Okay. Timing. You see, some people are ready to recover, but they're not willing to do the work. And some people are willing to recover, but they're not ready. But in order to recover from anything, you have to have both in place at the same time. So you have to be ready and willing. And a lot of times, and I've said this so many times before, when people say to me, well, I don't want to go there. I don't want to talk about my childhood. I don't want to talk about my past. But they're still carrying the pain from the past. Well, as long as they're not willing or ready, they'll always be carrying that pain. So that's a very important one. Timing. We also need to be willing to spend the time because we deserve it. So that's a big one. We have what we call talent. We all have talents. Talents are not gifts. Gifts are what we came with. So maybe you came with the gift of music, or you came with the gift of communication, or the gift of art, the gift of mechanics. But talent is different. Talent are those things that we do well that we had to practice and work on. So it takes talent to recover. And everybody has that ability. You can learn how to do things. Like all of our students right now probably have never been inside of a studio, maybe some of you ever before, but you're ready and you're willing to learn. And some of you are going to discover that you have talents in certain areas. But we don't know that until we try, you see? So that's another T word. We have to be willing to try new things. As long as you keep doing the same old things and you keep solving your problems the same old way, you're going to get the same old results. So are you willing to try new things, new ways of thinking, new ways of viewing, new ways of talking? You see? Another T word. There has to be trust involved. Nobody can recover by themselves. We need help, but we also need to trust the people who are working with us. And if for some reason you don't do as you say as a leader, let's say in an organization, if you promise one thing and you do something different, people learn not to trust you. So trust is very important when it comes to recovery. It's important to trust the people who are taking you through the process. And if we don't have that, we're not going to really progress with that particular individual. And I've had a lot of clients come to me and say, well, I did try to get help. I sought out some professional help, but I didn't trust that person. Well, that's fair enough, right? So trust is really important. And I like to just, put a plug in for myself and my organization. We have these things in place. And so that's just a beautiful thing. Technology is something we've used to reach out. And of course, we've been working virtually for 22 years. So we did our very first workshops using this technology. There were no cameras, but voice over internet protocol became available to the public in 2002. So I embraced that right away. And I have to say, that was probably the smartest business decision I ever made back in the day, because all of a sudden now we're international. We can go anywhere in the world with our product line. And that really grew our business quickly back in the day. So we're very savvy in doing that. And we teach all of our facilitators how to do that in a professional way. So technology allows us to reach out to whoever is out there that wants to recover and needs to recover. And you want to do it quickly. You don't want to spend 10 years getting over something, really. It used to take me a long time because I didn't have the toolkit. I didn't have the tools. I didn't have the technology. So do you want to recover in, a short time, or do you want to recover in a long time? You get to choose and pick, because it's all going to be decided by you. So that's really important. And the technology has allowed us to do that in an exponential kind of way. You have to have the right tools. And this is huge. I recognized many years ago that people didn't have the proper toolkits. They might have had a master's degree in education. They might have had, they may have been educated. They may have had a trade. But they didn't have a toolkit for their own personal life, because those are things that we don't get taught in formal education. And so I thought, wow, most people are walking around feeling like there's something wrong with them. How do we help people recover from that? And that became the focus of my work. And so for the last 32 years, that's what we've been doing. So we have now over 1,000 tools in our toolbox to support people in recovery, everyday recovery. I used to I started saying, I used to take something bad would happen or get a negative phone call. It would take me months to get over it. If somebody said something bad about me, or if somebody didn't like me. But that was my own stuff. That was my own low self-worth. And I worried about what other people thought of me. And I always worried about saying the right thing and doing the right thing, doing things perfectly, doing things right. And then I switched it to doing the right thing. So you need the right tools. So how many tools do you have in your recovery toolbox? I don't know. I bet you don't have 1,000. You might have one, maybe, which could be alcohol, could be a dysfunctional relationship. It could be all kinds of things. So we need tools. We need tools. The other thing we have is because we've helped so many people, we have testimonials. So that means that other people are willing to share their success and how the tools worked for them. And that gives you what we call a track record. So people feel a lot safer recovering in an environment where we have a track record and we can share the experiences of others, and we're able to be vulnerable and share our own stories. So we use experiential learning, we use storytelling, we use all kinds of techniques to help us recover in a timely fashion. Tolerance. There's another T word I like, tolerance. It means acceptance, really. And we understand that, or I understand anyway, that I may have evolved and grown to a level where I am right now, but that took years, and not everybody is where I am. And so we have a huge tolerance and acceptance of people to accept you right now, where you are, who you are, what you've experienced, and love you anyway. And that has always been something that has supported our work in the world. We have a huge tolerance level for your past, for the addictions, for whatever it was you had to do to stay safe, for your position, for your, where you are in the world. So tolerance is really big on our list to be able to do that. Now here's Jay. So we're going to welcome him back. Good morning. Welcome back.
Morning. I feel like I'm throwing you off just by popping in every once in a while.
No, that's fine. It was just
disturbing
me.
your flow.
No, it's not. That's fine. Maybe you could just, I don't know if you've been listening, but we've been talking to all the T's that we use to help people recover. And I didn't really think about this until a couple of days ago, and I started making a list, and I went, wow, yeah, this is what people need to recover. They need the time, they need the talent, the people that can help them, they need the technology, track records, toolkit. And so, we thought we're on wellness today, so recovery is all about wellness. What do you know about recovery? You've had to recover from some serious stuff.
I love your topics, Laurie. Like, they're just so insightful, informative. Something that's just sort of out of the box, but in the box. It's great. So ask me again. What were you going to ask me? That you said what?
Can you give us something that you've had to recover from? You've had to recover from a few things in your life, I'm sure. Is there a little story you want to share about something you recovered from?
I'm trying to think. That's interesting. I don't want to talk about my illness. I'm trying to think of something else, right?
Yeah.
You know what I did overcome? It's probably, and I don't really share this because it was a long time ago. But for people who don't know, I failed grade 7.
Okay.
Right? I failed No, I failed grade 8. I don't even know. It's so long. I failed grade 8. And it's really big because, grade 8, you go from grade 8 to high school.
Yeah.
Right? So in my first year, grade 8, I was one of the more popular kids and da-da-da. But I missed a lot of the school year because of my illness. Right? A lot. I was really sick that year, and I probably missed half the school year. But I still did okay. But the teacher just said to my parents, we could move them along to grade 9, but it's not going to help him in the long run. He's going to fall further behind. You know what I mean? And if he gets sick, we think it would be best if he stayed back. It was probably the most devastating, embarrassing time in my life, you know, because all my friends were moving on to grade 9 and I was staying behind in grade 8 with a grade 7. So I used to punch out the year before.
Right.
It was
Yes.
really bad. Like, it was bad all around. It was bad that my parents had to tell me. It was bad that my friends were moving on. It was just bad. It was embarrassing. I was so, and I remember going to school the next year, going back to the same grade with new kids. And I don't know how I overcame it. I don't know how it was just, and I got, well, I think maybe I didn't get bugged because I think maybe the person on the other side knew how upset I was already, knew my reputation as a rascal. And I think a lot of them knew if they said something, they're going to have to deal with it. So luckily that I could handle myself, because if I was the other way, oh my goodness, I would have got bullied to the point where it could, you know, like today, the kids take their own lives and suicide.
Yes.
So I think that is a personal thing besides my illness, right? That I had to overcome in my life. That was just, as a 12 or 13-year-old boy, it's devastating.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like, what?
Yes.
Like, especially
Because
going on to the next level.
yes, because they not only that stole a lot of other things from you, like, you know, your integrity, your a sense of well-being, your self-esteem, your confidence. You know, there's lots of attachments there to that experience.
But I'll give you a positive, is
Yes.
that I even became more popular because my friends that went to high school still stayed my friends,
Oh,
right?
great.
They were still all my pals, the guys and girls, they were all my pals because they knew that I had an illness, and it wasn't because I was just a delinquent, or, you know what I mean? So
Yes.
we all still stayed my friends. And then I became even more popular in grade 8 because everybody already knew me and I
Oh,
was
wow.
nice to people. So I even gained a more friendship. So when I did go into grade 9 with the new group, all my friends were in grade 10 or 11 or 12.
Yeah.
It was just like, I had a whole new crew. So it worked out well. But for that first, I don't know, I'm going to say from the time school ends, like from June till September, in the first weeks into September, it was devastating.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah, got to
Absolutely.
share that.
Yeah, for sure. So, you know, some of the other T words that I came up with were um, trauma informed healing. Trauma informed healing. See, we've all had trauma. Everybody's had trauma. Nobody's been exempt from that. And for you, you see, that was a traumatic event at the time.
At the time, sure.
And some people think a trauma is when you get shot or you're in a car accident, or no, trauma comes in many, many packages. And because we're all unique, that affected you one way, that might have affected somebody else another way, totally different way. So
That's
we
right.
can have the same situation, but we all respond differently depending on the support we have and who our parents are. And, you know, so Kathy has asked a question. Did your friends know that you had a genetic illness? Did your friends know you were sick at the time?
No, just
No.
my family, and I guess the dear friends that grew up on my street, you know, in my hood, in my neighborhood, because remember, by the time grade 8, you're already 13. Well, I met friends that, you know, from kindergarten, right? So by the time I was, you know, 7 years later, they all knew that, oh yeah,
Yes.
Jay's sick, and, you know, and oh yeah, we'll
Yeah.
see him next week when he gets better. And so
Yeah.
yeah, they all knew, and it was So I don't know. It is what it is. You just makes you what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? I guess. So for some
That's
people,
right. That's
for
right.
some people,
That's
right?
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And a
I
couple
do
of
want to. I
go ahead.
do want to share. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no,
No, no, you
you
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I don't want to
Well, I just
intrude.
want to
I don't want to
share
intrude on your
one
show.
last T word. One last T word. Thankfulness is a great recovery tool to just stop focusing on what you don't have and what's not happening and focus on what's happening, which I think is a nice segue over to what you would like to share next, which I don't even know what it is, but just being thankful is a great tool in our toolkit.
I like that actually. I like that. I like if you. You know what? I find that if you go to your way to be nice to somebody for no reason, it really makes you feel good.
Yes.
It does. If you're nice to somebody or say, "Hey, that's a nice suit you have on," or "That's a nice smile," or "You look nice today," the person goes, "Oh my God, thank you," and it makes you feel good too, right? Because you see them smile. I think that's always give a compliment, right?
That's right.
Sort of thing. So I just want to
Oh.
share. I had 3 really exciting meetings, phone calls. So we had a really good meeting with the CEO of the Invictus Games, Scott Moore. I want to give a big shout out to Scott and Jenny yesterday. Really good. So we're really excited with the future regarding productions and some media and hopefully some entertainment. So we just want to give a big shout out that the plan for the Invictus Games is, moving forward, and we're lots of pieces. We got lots of support. I also had a wonderful conversation this morning with the Ottawa Senators alumni team regarding our employment programs and persons with disabilities and our tour across Canada. So they're very enthralled with what I gave them as far as a vision. Again, nothing set in stone, but really good conversation. And then we had a really good conversation with the Royal Bank of Canada, as we're going to be joining through our affiliate charitable platform, Veteran House Alliance International. We're going to be joining their platform. So it's very, as a support mechanism. So it's very, very exciting, very exciting. So the tour could be getting bigger. I got a couple of meetings today with the pub. So things are going good for the veterans. I'll keep you guys posted. We have a great show today. I have a 1:00 today. I have a veteran on from the Invictus Games from Dusseldorf in 223 and 220. His name is Nick. So check us out. We're going to be live on Facebook at 1 p.m. on Veterans Corner. So we're really excited. And just like this show, our employment program class is going to be interacting. So what we're doing is they have the studio in Toronto all set up live, ready to go. So I'm going to be bringing them on, and then I'm going to pass the baton to the class, and they're going to ask our guests some questions. So this is kind of exciting. I'd like to do this with the show with you on Thursdays, because we know it's a Veteran Day on Thursdays, right?
Yes, it is.
So so I think we're going to be setting that up on a Thursday. You're going to be interacting with our class, and we'll let our class interacting with your guests, as long as they're veterans, right? So this will be really good. So I'm really excited. So I really want to thank you for letting me be on the show today. And so remember sponsors for the Super Bowl. Start lining up, because we're sending Laurie. We're sending Dr. Laurie to Louisiana.
That's right.
Down there. Yeah, down there with the crawfish, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome.
I'll just fit in like a dirty shirt down there.
That's
all
awesome.
right. Well, thank you, Jay, for the updates. That's really important. And once again, a nice big welcome to our new students that are on the deck now and learning the trade and learning the ropes. And anything I can do to support that, I'm here for you. And anything that you want done. So thanks so much. Tomorrow
I'm going to shut off. I'm going to tap out. I'm going to let you close the show.
Okay, thank you. All right. Always great to have Jay visit us and come and check us out and see what we're up to. And so today, a beautiful day with Dr. Kaye Sheffield, and we talked about spiritual wellness. You can pick up the show on the Laurie Davis Facebook page. our YouTube channels, Laurie Davis show host. We're on a whole bunch of different platforms now. And some of our shows are being sent south of the border to your home TV. And I think they have about 14 episodes up right now. So you can go there as well and access the shows. So bye for now. I'll be back tomorrow for our veterans show. And well, actually special communities. So it's not just veterans, but veterans get featured, Indigenous community, the disabled community, any specialized community that wants to be on the show is more than welcome. Okay, so time to go, and talk to you all later.
Goodbye so long, I hate to leave you, but I've gotta go. Goodbye so long, it's coming now, I hear that whistle blow. It'll be here in a minute, you're waving on the flag. I'm gonna leave you crying in the smoke along the track. It helps me when I'm blue. I get there to travel, that's all I want to do. I know I can't just settle down because I like to roll. And when I hear that whistle blow, I gotta move on. Goodbye so long, it's coming now, I hear that whistle blow. Goodbye so long, I guess that's just the way I'll always be. It'll be here in a minute, you're waving on the flag. I'm gonna leave you crying in the smoke along the track. I love my baby too, but you don't understand me when I'm feeling blue. And when I hear that whistle blow, I hurry home and pack, and leave my baby crying in the smoke along the track. Goodbye so long, I hate to leave you, but I've gotta go. Goodbye